TIL the Phantom time conspiracy theory claims the time period AD 614 to 911 never existed. The theory claims these extra 300 years of history were fabricated in the Middle Ages to legitimize Otto's claim over the Holy Roman Empire. According to the theory, we should be living in the year 1726, easily disproven in many ways. An easy one is the drift in the Julian calendar. When the Julian calendar was established, certain dates were aligned with equinox solstice events. Because the Julian calendar does not correctly count leap years, it drifts over time with respect to equinoxes and solstices at an easily predictable rate. We know what the date today is in the Julian calendar, and we know the error the Julian calendar has with respect to solstices and equinoxes, so we know how many years have passed since its adoption. Those 300 years did happen. I thought it was just the 8th century that never existed, but I guess that theory wasn't stupid enough. Edit just to see if I understand this correctly: the Islamic Golden Age, the Tang Dynasty, the spread of Buddhism in Asia, the foundation of the First Royal State, the unification of England. All of that was fabricated in order to motivate the claim of a short-lived German dynasty, and the whole world just went along with it. In a similar vein, there are two regions in Europe named Galicia, one in Spain and one in modern-day Poland and Ukraine. I hereby make the claim that those are actually the same region, and thus Central Europe does not exist. It is probably only a legend to hide a dark and terrible secret. People are stupid. The birth rate is about the same as it was in P.T. Barnum's day. There's a demographic that is sure that common wisdom is some sort of suppressive plot, and only outlandish claims backed by misinterpretation of a few pieces of purported evidence can be the true story. So it was fabricated in a worldwide conspiracy. How do they account for the fact that these 297 years are generally accounted for in other cultures? Never mind, I'll just file this nonsense under flat earthers and Trump voters and move on. Gee, sure is crazy that everyone around the world went along with the Germans and made up their own law. I mean, the Arabs made up Muhammad, the English made up the entire reign of Alfred the Great, and the Chinese made up the entire Tang Dynasty. The comic department of Truth includes this conspiracy in a real fun way. Basically, the idea is that Charlemagne is an invention of the church to legitimize the Holy Roman Empire. It'd be kinda nice to prove this hypothesis, and then my tombstone could read born in 1987 but died 1786. Being a time traveler is only cool if you go backwards in time. Illig was a special kind of stupid, but his idiocy is exceeded by the morons who believe an entire 1,000 years was added into the chronology with nobody noticing. Isn't it convenient everyone else, including his enemies and random people all over the world who never heard of him, just went along with it and said nothing? What date today? 31st of December 613 AD. Okay, let's celebrate New Year tonight. What date today? 1st of January 912 AD. The fornicate? I slept for 300 years. Human civilization is supposedly 6,000 years old, yet we call the current year 2023. What happened to the other 3,977 years? When the hell are we? I would like to quote India's foreign minister: Europe's problems are not the world's problems. Europe is not the center of the planet. Doesn't matter if we live in year 1000, 2000 or 3000 etc. It does not improve how we do things anyway. It's just a way to keep track. This theory is only believable if you're a hardcore Eurocentric and ignore all the historical records kept by the rest of the world. Oh crap, that means that the Mayans could still be right. But that's like 300 years from now. Not my problem. If only there were other humans that were also keeping time that could show that there wasn't a skip. It would be an interesting exercise to see how many different and creative ways this can be disproven. You should also check out Fomenko's new chronology for another wacky version of this. Absolute bullshit is not scientific theory, it is simply bullshit and not a theory. This sounds like something Joe Rogan would entertain thoroughly on his podcast. This explains why the Aztec calendar didn't predict the end of the world. This explains why the Y2K fears never came to be. We just aren't there yet. So you're saying there's still a chance we hit the Jetson era on time? I have a theory that South America is just a ride at Disney World. It's not a theory. It's either a hypothesis or a conjecture. I heard we landed on the moon, so an extra 300 years may. I employed a similar tactic in high school to buy beer, winking face.